Welcome to Rakhi's desk. Hi everyone, I'm Rakhi and this is Salesforce Record Level Security Part 3. In previous sessions, we have already covered OWD and sharing rules, roles hierarchy, and we have also seen the practical hands-on all those topics. In today's session, we are going to cover some additional features provided by Salesforce to share the records. So we are going to cover account team, opportunity team, case team, Apex sharing, and we will cover all these topics in the practical hands-on in the Salesforce org as well. Account team, it's a collaboration feature that allows a group of users to work upon a particular account record, and it's designed to assign and manage roles within the Salesforce in the specific records, ensuring that right people are involved in managing the sales process. Account team needs to be manually activated by the admin in Salesforce org. We can enable it, go to the setup and search for the account team, and we can enable it, account team. Opportunity team is similar to the account team, and however it allows the group of users to work upon a particular opportunity record, and it also need to be activated by the Salesforce admin in the org. Case team, it's a it also similar to the opportunity and case in the opportunity and the account team. However, it does not need to be activated by the Salesforce administrator in the org manually. So basically it is also a collaboration feature that allows the group of users to work upon a specific case. This feature is designed to streamline teamwork, improve efficiency in case management, and ensure the right people have access to the information for resolving customer issues. Apex sharing. Apex sharing basically can be used to grant additional record level access programmatically with the Apex code. And now let's see, if we already have so many different options provided by Salesforce which can be used as a declarative options, then why we have to use the Apex sharing? So there are a couple of scenarios where it could be required to go for the Apex sharing. For example, the sharing rule limit breach. So basically we can have the 300 rules per object and 50 criteria based sharing rule basically in a Salesforce org for a particular per object. However, it can be increased by raising a Salesforce support case. So if that limit is going to be increased or we are having more sharing rules, then in that case we will avoid this one and we will go for the Apex sharing. Complex sharing logic. If you have very complex sharing logic and which cannot be achieved by the sharing rules or any other options like role hierarchy, then we have to go for the Apex sharing. If any scenario like dynamic sharing records based on the runtime data, that also could lead to Apex sharing. Automatic record sharing as part of a process. So basically we cannot define our sharing rules or role hierarchy because there is something sharing is required to be part of a different process in a particular part also, only maybe like by button, right? If we go do this action, only then this record will be shared with a particular group. So those kind of process can also be implemented by the Apex sharing. Let's take an example. Suppose if we have to build a custom team on a custom object similar to case team, so we can achieve it with the Apex sharing. So let's see how this Apex sharing works. So basically it creates a share object automatically whenever the OWD of a standard object or a custom object is private or private read only. So if you see here the example, a standard object, you will see a like share object like this. For example, account share. For a custom object, you will see __ share as added in the object name. So this is the example, job position share. These are the fields which are required to be filled to create a share record. And this is a code snippet that I have shown here. Well, for example, you have to create a share record for the job position. So this is the record, and you want to share this record as a row cause as a manual and access level as read, and this is the group or user ID with whom you want to share this record. So basically row cause manual means whenever the owner of the record will be changed, then this sharing record will be automatically deleted. This is the sample of the share records that we can see. Now let's move to the Salesforce org and let's see each of these items in a practical. Okay, so this is the sharing setting, and let's see of these object, basically the account. We can see the OWD is private and opportunity OWD is private, case OWD is private. So I have specifically made it as a private so that we can see the different scenarios. And we can also see like account team is already enabled. This option is coming, so means it's already enabled in my org. Similarly, opportunity team is also already enabled in my org, and case team is available. Now let's see. So this is an account record. I have two users. One is Rakhi, which is a system admin user, and the record is also being created by the Rakhi only. I have another user which is Manya, and she's have a different profile and different roles. So basically the OWD is private. Whatever record is created by Rakhi will not be accessible to Manya. Now let's see how. So I'm just taking this record and let me try here if I can access it. Okay, this record is not accessible. Now let me do one thing. Let's add Manya into the account team, and then let's see if we are able to provide the access to Manya. I'm adding here as a team member. So user, I'm searching as a Manya. Team role. So these are the predefined team roles. Any of these whichever is applicable for you, you can select that. Read access, read only, contact, case, opportunity. You can also define the access from here. I mean related record for this account, what type of access you want to provide. I'm not changing these, I'm keeping it as a private only because we have to cover the other scenarios. Okay, so now Manya is added to the account team. Now let me try if this record is now accessible to her or not. You can see now she can access this record, and now so let's see now the opportunity access. Okay, so opportunity access, this is the record which I am able to access because I am the owner of this record. Now let me open this record with the other user which I have used, Jen user. Okay, so now let me take this record, and if we see here we are not able to access this record. So what we should do, let's try this adding user to the opportunity team. So add opportunity team member. I'm just selecting the team role, any of the role, whichever you this is preferable for your requirement. Then I'm taking the Jen down. You can also create your own roles. I'm saving this data. Then let's try to check now whether the Jen is able to access the record or not, because he is part of the opportunity team now. So we can see that Jen is able to access the record now. You can see this is the team member, he is part of this. Now let's see case team. Okay, for the case access as well. So for before enabling the case access, basically we should have some support role or some roles, case team role should be added. So I have already added these two roles for the case team. Now let's see, this is the case record and owner is Rakhi Srivastav. Now let me try, as we have already seen the OWD is private, I'm trying to see this record if Jane is able to access this record or not. So we can see like Jane is not able to access this record, this case record. Now let's try to add Jane to the case team. So add team member, search for Jane, and then this is any of the role whichever you select, and then hit save. So now this user is added to this team case team. Let's try to see if this case is now available to this user or not. So we can see now this user can access this case record because this user is part of the case team. Now let's see the custom Apex sharing for that part. So for that one, I have just used one custom object, which is a job position object, which we created in the previous session itself. So let me try if that record is available. Let me try some other record because this record is already created by Jane only. Let me try some other record and let's see if that record is accessible to Jane or not. So let me just open job positions, Salesforce developer. Let's see. Okay, this is created by Rakhi. So now let's see if this record is accessible to Jane user or not. Okay, so I'm just checking this one. Okay, so this record is not accessible because this user is not owner of this record. So what we can do, even we do not have any sharing rule, or like the sharing rule which we have created, those are not working for this scenario. I'm just taking very simple example for to create this record for the sharing. So I'm just using the anonymous window, and there the same code snippet which I used there as well. So let me just update the parent ID, means which record you want to share. So I'm just taking, let me take this one. Okay, so this is the record ID. Okay, now let me see which use with which public group or user you want to share. So I have used the public group, and this is the public group of this one. Okay, so now let me try to create this record. And let's refresh this one. Earlier it was count 6, now let's see. Okay, we can ignore the 6 count because it was earlier shared with the Manya and other records. So we can see the record which we have shared. Okay, let me just try to see that record. So this is the record, and Rakhi is the owner, and now this record is being shared with Q manual, and this is the L2 group, है ना? And let's see who is part of the L2 group. L2 group basically Manya is part of the L2 group. So even if we try to access this record by Jen user, we will not be able to access because Jen is not part of that group. So let me do one thing. Let me just add Jen in that group. So user, and I'm adding this user to the public group. Okay, so now let's try if Jen is able to access this record now or not, because that that record is being shared with the public group, and Jen is part of that public group. So we are able to see this record. So yeah, this is working as it is. Okay, so that's it for this session. We have already covered all of those record level access options, and we have also done the practical hands-on as well in the Salesforce org. So yeah, thank you for the session, and we will see in the next session with the restriction rules and the scoping rules. Thank you.